Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to speak about the subject of, is the world crazy? Yeah, that's a pretty big, bold statement, but the thing is haven't you ever wondered if you're like in a situation where, for example, everybody acts as if something is normal, yet you see something that's wrong and you kind of think to yourself, is it just me seeing something that nobody else is seeing, or am I just weird? I've noticed that in many things of life, that people just accept things, yet is it really the right way? I feel that people accept, for example, the fact that you have to work so many hours a day. They accept also the fact that taxes need to be paid. They accept the fact that armies should get so much percentage of that tax, and yet they accept the fact that schools are so expensive, and they accept the fact that just basically a lot of things, basically the fact that we have to live in this way where women still need to fight in order to break that glass ceiling, where we still live in a patriarchal society where males are still the dominant species, even though things are slowly changing, in a society where, even though we supposedly don't have racism, people of certain beliefs or certain cultures or certain races are still pushed to live more in one side of the city than the other. And even though people don't really realize, or maybe they don't even think about it, it's crazy. It's crazy that we as a society accept these things and we kind of say, well, this is how it is. This is what it's going to be. This is the way I've always lived, and that's the way that I'll always be, just because, well, it's been like that forever. Or they tell you basically, you can avoid getting cancer of the lungs by never smoking, yet you still decide that you will smoke. And then even though you're diagnosed at one point with having that cancer, and they tell you, well, you have a much higher chance of success by stopping to smoke, and then maybe we might be able to reverse it and at least make you live longer, or you're going to live at least more comfortably for the time. People still don't change that. They still do it. And this to me is crazy. The world is so crazy. It's like you have to follow these specific steps, and you know that you can succeed. You know that you can do this thing. You know that if you study on time, if you do this at that time, if you do that at that time, you will be successful. You will reach your goal. You will basically have whatever you've always dreamt of. Yet, people just don't show up. Or people are flaky. Or people are... I just think it's out of control in some way. Because what it does, at least to me, because I'm a pretty ambitious person, what it does for ambitious people is that it closes doors sometimes to those ambitious people. We'll still get there, but because there are all these people who are just crazy in some way, where it's just kind of like you've wasted the time of the person that can open that door for you, so they can't give you that employment because maybe they're reluctant to see this guy because, well, maybe the previous person they employed was just not good, so now they have to do more tests, and they're just reluctant to get in that circle of trust. So I say, don't be so crazy. Don't do all these things. Like, don't waste people's time. Don't make promises you can't make or keep. Just live within what you want to live. Not everybody has to be a millionaire. Not everybody has to be a big boss. Not everybody has to be extremely successful in life. Just try to find what it is that's in you and live. And obviously, if something that you see in this world is kind of weird and you see that nobody else reacts to it, well, if you think that it's weird, react to it. Make it happen. Change it. Just don't cut yourself from your reality because maybe it's not a reality, maybe it's normal to them. But if you see something wrong, you need to try to show. That's why people have sometimes protests and stuff like that, because they see that something's wrong. But at the same time, I feel that so much of our society is just asleep, that it doesn't realize that they need to do more. And if you accept things just because, well, that's the law, well, then you're not really thinking, because the law was created by man because they tried to make things better, supposedly. But what if the laws of the country you're in, or what if a certain particular law just is actually making the life of all its citizens worse? Well, that law must change, and that's why laws change. But if nobody's there to contest it, then the same people will always govern, the same people will always have and take the advantages, because we as humans, we are kind in some way, but we also take advantage and try to protect our own and try to protect our thing. And even though you can be kind to certain people, you might be mean towards the people that are outside of that circle. But if we had more that community sense, more that peaceful sense, people wouldn't be honking in cars, people wouldn't be frustrated at 5 p.m. rush hour traffic. People would just be living, and people wouldn't do all these crazy things. Because sometimes you wonder, you say that everything goes bad in your life, but what if it's you to blame? Some things can be changed, but a lot of things can also be changed. So it's trying to, again, to navigate through this craziness, because people are very unpredictable. People don't have an agenda. People don't know what they're doing. We're just silly animals, and we don't really understand that some things are just avoidable. So at the same time, try to find your sanity with this craziness, and if there is something that needs to be changed, try to speak up or do something to change it. Otherwise, there's no point. And if you're speaking up about something, then you better, if you're complaining, change it, make it change, and not complain about it, because complaining doesn't really bring much if you're not taking the steps in order to change. But that's it. That's all I have to say. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.